What is an acquittal and why do I have to do one? This is for the artists.
Yeah. So acquittals sound like they're going to be a bit of punishment and labour, but actually they're a really good opportunity to celebrate the project that you've just undertaken. There are things that we need to know from you, but that's because we also want to know what to celebrate, but also what your hurdles have been. So that helps us build more programs to assist people in that kind of hurdle period, but also we get the money from somewhere to give to you. So this is a story we can then tell our donors. They love hearing this information, so the more information you give us that's succinct and anecdotal allows us to tell our donors, who will then want to continue supporting us and you.
I think also with acquittals is if you almost start the acquittal at the beginning of your project, and that helps you at the end as well, because you often, I think people scramble because they think it is a laborious task, but if you just sort of see it as part of the process, then it makes it a lot easier.
And our acquittal is online, so you can see before you get to that stage what we need from you, so you can kind of take note of that while you're actually doing the project.
So check what you need to do before you start, not wait till the end.
And we do read them, we do genuinely read them when we receive them, because we're actually really excited to see what you guys have gotten up to. Because we're obviously invested in the first point with what you're kind of going to achieve with your career, and we want to be able to see how you're going.
And I think we're quite unique in that we're a conduit between the donors that support Helpman and essentially are supporting the artists through us. So it's really great for us to then take that information and share it back as well.
And we're a tiny organisation, like that acquittal doesn't get lost in a big machine. Like we genuinely read them and are excited to receive them.
Because we're about championing artists, and we want to champion you and your story and your achievements.
Ooh, how do I write a winning grant application?
If we had $1 for everyone that asked that.
But also, if we knew how to do that. We do.
How do I win lotto? No.
Exactly.
No. So for me, writing a grant application is you're telling a story. We want to know why you're important, what you're doing is important, and why at this part of your career it's important, especially for Helpman, because we're all about supporting emerging artists and helping them get their careers off the ground.
So we want to know about your ambition. Where are you now? Where do you see yourself with this project or in the next 5 years, and how do we get you to that point?
And be very straightforward with the language that you use, and very confident, because I think if you're talking of shoulds or coulds, that much more often it's more powerful if you're being definite with the actual potential outcomes from the activity that you're proposing. And I think as well, giving a sense of how crucial it is that these things happen now. So writing in a way that kind of gives a sense of the immediacy and need to do this is really powerful.
Yeah, and I think for me, talking from the heart, it's about a combination between the heart and the head. So I love it when an artist, you want to hear who you are as a person. So if you write in the first person rather than the third person, it gives us a sense of who you are and why this is important to you as an artist as well.
Kind of authenticity to their voices. So it really sings through when you're reading something.
It's not an artist statement and it's not a university essay. It's practical. We actually want all those practical sides.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to tell us what you really want and need for your practice. But it's also a really good opportunity to talk to your community, talk to your friends, get someone else to read that application so that you're kind of not inside your own head, but you can have someone that maybe doesn't know everything about that project that can read that from another perspective and give you any hints to just make that as succinct and solidified as possible.
And be open to that feedback that they might give you, because I think being vulnerable with the process is so important, because if they can find things that are going to benefit you, that take that on board. I think that the more help you can get in building the actual application, the better off you'll be.
Writing doesn't come naturally to everyone either, so I love it to see even grants broken down into headings and dot points and really simplify exactly what you want to do. So if you're going overseas to do a residency, you can break it down around you know, making new connections or having that time and space, experiencing new things. So you can actually break it down under headings, and then that way it helps you under each question you've got a framework that you can continue on to tell that whole story as well.
And we have a word count to help you have that framework. Otherwise, you could be sending us a thesis. Sometimes having something that's short and succinct will actually help you understand that project so much more. But it's also easier for us to read. I think it's really easy to get lost in your own words sometimes.
And go on.
I was just going to say on that level that grant writing is an art in of itself. That it's not like writing an essay. You've got a very different style that you'll bring to it, because it needs to be able to clearly communicate, which is one of the most important things.
So don't use jargon, I would say.
Yeah, and don't get too hung up on academic kind of language. We know that you've studied, we know that you've got the ability to speak on that level, but we want to get to the nuts and bolts and the kind of the heart of what you're doing.
And if it doesn't come naturally to you, we really welcome you to do a video if you want to. Some artists submit videos. Or sometimes I suggest people even to record themselves beforehand to actually, so they can articulate what they want to do, and that helps you as well to kind of break that down into
And talk to us, have a consultation, drop in, have a conversation with us.
Which can be really powerful and beneficial, because I know there's instances where I've applied for grants and having like the organisation understanding what you're actually working on, because I don't know, sometimes maybe a panel might not understand or misinterpret something within an application, and there might be the chance that a program manager or somebody can speak to a clearer understanding of what that is, so that your kind of intention around the project isn't misinterpreted. And having that kind of, I don't want to say a champion, but somebody to be able to clarify that on your behalf is important.
And maybe this isn't the right grant for you. Maybe there are other grants, or maybe you're trying to put too much into the one application. So that's a really good opportunity for us to identify other pathways for you.
Yeah, don't try and force a grant. Like if it doesn't fit, then you know you'd be better off looking at something else.
Yeah, for sure.